Number one, let's just hope that we get some crazy experimental weird drafts.
Who's to say we can't play Teemo? Okay. Well, competitive integrity. But who's to say competitive integrity matters in this?
It doesn't.
Well, and the rule book. But
exactly. Wait. Yeah. Okay. Never mind.
Well, we'll see what happens. We got to see the most interesting pick we'd ever seen in a match like this over the last 5 years was when Fisher played in the Fury mid.
True.
That's the most interesting it got. That's about as crazy as we'll get here at the LCK.
Why doesn't DuDu just first pick Garen though? You know? And then Frog is like, aha, you ain't seen my Teemo. And then he just pulls out the Teemo, you know?
Why not, some Dindin LeBlanc top?
Aha! I mean,
he's not playing
wait,
today,
DuDu would need to turn his name upside down.
Yeah, no, it's...
and mirrored for that to work. But we'll see. There could be a possibility of that happening. The Jarvan going to be taken away. The Orianna should be the answering ban here, as Kiwoom DRX have already taken away the Cassiopeia. We've seen these bans in this exact order before.
We have, actually, very often.
All right. What is
Final
it
ban, going to be Nocturne. I'm going to leave that one over to Sharvel. But Sharvel is happy to play Lee Sin. That's why the ban Poppy. He likes to first pick that one.
But Orianna's up. And I guess Clozer just locks it in.
Well, I suppose maybe he'll still get his chance to play Lee Sin if they do go for an early Xin pick here.
Wait,
a counter
Lee Sin lock. Just Lee Sin lock. Just do it.
I mean, I think they probably should, but will they is the question we always have to ask. And with Willer, the answer is often will, yes.
Yeah, I think that Ucal's going to play Rise. That's my feeling.
But Olaf blind.
Olaf Lee Sin. And they will get the Rise as well.
Pretty crazy how Olaf, his win rate has just stayed 70 plus with the amount of games he's had so far. He just keeps being played and keeps winning.
Yeah.
That normally the more a champion becomes popular, it approaches 50. And it did, but only slightly. It was like 80 at the beginning of the year and now at 71. As here comes the Pantheon response here from Sharvel. Not the one that he prefers most of the time, but one that he can excel on, and they'll get the Camille as a flex.
Ah, okay. And this has been pretty good into the Olaf. We've seen it already. Find some success, as there is the Galio for Ucal instead of the Rise that I was kind of expecting.
Yeah, leaving the Rise open for the rest of this series. We will see the Camille Galio combo denied, but they also had bans to do that, so they didn't necessarily need to make this choice.
Yeah, nor did they have a really good spot to put the Galio anyway.
So Bard's still up. I think that will change in the second ban phase real quick. Probably banned by the Soopers, I imagine. And that's going to go first. So still wondering about that Camille flexibility.
Yeah, I am pretty sure that Camille is going into the top lane, though, as the Lulu will be banned away from Andil.
Yeah, I think it's going to be Lulu and Bard banned from Andil. And for this final one, maybe it's a Vayne ban. Vayne or Kled, probably.
I wouldn't mind a Kled ban. Cassante has also been pretty good into the Olaf as well. We have seen more recently.
Maybe.
But, I mean, a lot of these, like, I feel like the Olaf player is the one that has the ownership of the matchup.
Jhin was the other pick I was thinking about because with all these range supports getting banned and the front line that DN Soopers have, it's just really easy to follow up on the engage here for the Soopers of the Pantheon and the Camille. Just play Jhin behind that, especially if it's Camille top. As it's going to be a Bard ban, right, Duckers?
Bard or Karma?
Karma,
the ones that I'm feeling.
A little bit less concerning to me.
Not a lot of engage.
They don't have that much engage. It's the real thing, and Bard gives a lot of that plus lane power into this potential Camille.
Yeah.
So what are we going to see, Amy? What's it going to be? Well, you want to get your AD carry here and then respond to the Camille flex.
Ooh, pretty late Lucian Milio angle. That's pretty impressive.
And
Might be that deokdam wants to play Ziggs now.
Could be they lock this, and then it's Aphelios Milio and
or
top.
Ziggs Vayne.
Or
Xayah Rakan. Okay.
All right. Xayah also sitting at the same win rate as Olaf. Crazy.
That's way higher than I was expecting.
Yeah, same. It's been doing really well here at the end of the year as a niche pick. Played way less often than the Olaf. And picked in good drafts. So Xayah into Lucian can be quite tricky. We've seen Peter have some really good games on the Rakan into Lucian.
Oh, yeah.
He did it just recently in Kespa Cup playoffs as well.
And Rakan Orianna has been a fantastic
Yeah.
combination. DuDu is going to be taking that Camille towards the top side of the map. A decent matchup into the Olaf as well.
I think
And he can really separate the Olaf from the rest of the teammates with a Camille like this.
in 5v5s, it's going to be really hard to get on top of the Lucian because of the Olaf. But in, when the Olaf is top lane or side lane, and the Lucian is trying to get mid prio, he's pretty vulnerable into this comp because it has a lot of CC and a lot of lockdown. And Camille can kind of just ignore the Olaf sometimes, especially top Camille that has a lot more stats, and just get on top of the backline. So it's going to be a really tough game here for aiming if they are not ahead early. But they have a draft that's designed to, well, get ahead early. So they have the tools.
Yep.
Will they be able to get there in the end is the question.
Did you see the sign, by the way, that said Super Ucal Fragilistic?
No, but I really wish I did.
That was fantastic. I like a little bit of a Mary Poppins flavor to my Rise Group matchup at the end of the day.
I hope it's XP Aldocious Atlus.
I imagine it probably will be. There is no other place that it can go. Let's get onto the Rift here for game number 1.
미니언들이 생성되었습니다.
All right, here we are, ladies and gentlemen. Ready for game number 1. Kiwoom DRX versus the DN SOOPers. I'm feeling pretty good about the DN SOOPers' chances here. I often look at Xayah Rakan drafts and I'm a little bit worried, but I feel like this time it's kind of picked in the right spot. I feel like they have a lot of power elsewhere, and as this game turns into playing side lanes and team fights, they're going to be well suited to figuring it out.
I agree.
But it's the Rise Group, Wolf, and sometimes if we make an assessment, it's just not what happens.
That has been more often than not the case, I find.
All right,
Barrier
they're just
trade.
hitting each other a whole lot. Heal from Andil is actually held onto, though, as they just haven't lost very much health.
Yeah, it's kind of the Xayah level 1. It's a little bit annoying. Peter's got some more heals at least in his quills, so to speak. Not going to give it a little movement speed, but he's going to give some more sustain, so it's not that bad that he used his heal there, and it is the tougher level 1 for them. deokdam going to get some CS here, even using the feathers here. Clear that one up.
Yeah, Peter needs to hit these if they do want to get that healing, though. That is the difficulty here for the Rakan.
Feels like it's a default, but not always, actually. deokdam channeling Peter channeling a recall.
Yeah, he's actually going to go home.
He took too much damage, didn't get enough heals, so he's going to leave the Xayah under turret, which is annoying, but he's going to get a refillable early, which is also valuable, and I think that deokdam should be fine.
And Frog has often been the answer the Olaf guy, not necessarily the Olaf guy.
Yeah.
So this is kind of cute, seeing him finally try the matchup for himself. But DuDu is having a good time on the Camille right now. And Sharvel is there towards the top side. Justice Punch brings Ucal in. Flash out from Clozer just doesn't want anything to do with that play.
Clozer going to be very respectful there. That's for Alcove Recall.
Alcahove Recall. I like it. It's bro left, you know?
Yeah, I was going to say fitting for the skin.
Yeah, that's how that one works. Kind of wish that we had Yeji in the crowd once again.
Yeah, she's working today,
shot.
though.
Yeah, it wouldn't be appropriate today.
All of us were at a staff wedding today, and we're also knowing that we're working later, just being very cautious.
deokdam also just getting it flashed on. Double tap from aiming, and that is first blood to Kiwoom DRX.
Suddenly, our little chat about Heiji's performance the other day gets interrupted by a very aggressive play from aiming. He has the flash to secure the kill.
Yeah.
deokdam, no barrier. Aiming, and he had traded it moments before, so he was very aware that he didn't have the barrier to deal with that damage, but just expected he was going to be able to live a little bit longer there, but sometimes Lucian gets you.
And the problem is, they were already so far behind.
Yeah.
You can see aiming is still at about double the CS margin, so that gold gap is 700 after all is said and done.
Yeah, he could have an even larger gold gap if he didn't go buy a Sheen on his first back.
Oh, God.
So, yeah, this is a bit rough. Big kick there from Andil as well, adding a lot of extra damage to that.
And now you've got Willa just to come down here and twist the knife.
I hate it when I'm playing into Shoes and Sheen when I'm playing Xayah.
It's a tough one, but let's see. Frog now dealing with a very high health DuDu.
DuDu's like, I think DuDu really just, he saw Frog's confidence there, and he was like, I don't think I want to play with that.
I feel like
Walk
Frog
away.
just like, he like read the passive of Olaf, and he's like, wait, I'm better when I'm low health?
He also has exhaust, so he would have won if DuDu went for the all-in. So DuDu's not going to play around with that. Just walks away. Yep. Nice confident play there from Frog, threatening, knowing his power there. Just going to take it back and head back to lane. DuDu went TP, so obviously a lot more use as a side lane in Camille, but less combat power in this matchup.
Going to be a tough one. Aiming an Andil with full control of this wave, and that position is not great here for the DN Soopers. Ucal finding a nice trade onto Clozer, but it's not exactly winning in one way or another. As Willa moving towards the top side will be matching Sharvel here, charging up that Q. Control ward goes down, DuDu in a little bit of trouble. Level 6 gained by the Camille first. Can he actually get this ultimatum down? That's the real question here. And the reason it's so powerful is obviously Ragnarok is really good at avoiding CC. Can't avoid walls. And Hextech Ultimatum just kind of makes walls around you.
It prevents you from getting away. It can be used even as a defensive tool for deokdam later on in the game. We talked about it as killing the Lucian, but can just kind of keep the Olaf at a little bit more arm's length. In a 5v5. We're going to see Sharvel without level 6, not going to look for a play. Down here, we're just still trying to push this lead.
A nice feather pull there from deokdam, just to try and ease up some of the aggression out of aiming.
Willer, he went up top side to play through the cover there of the Olaf, who was significantly behind in farm, and as you were pointing out there, behind in experience, so wasn't going to have his Ragnarok anyways. So, you know, we talked about, you mentioned how it's good into Ragnarok the ult there, but without that Ragnarok, it's really good. So Willer has to stay up here.
Oh dear. It's a low health bar on the Camille. Willer is making his way over. Undertow doesn't connect as there's the hook shot. And now they've got a Galio to join. DuDu taking a while to die, but Ucal will be able to pick that one up with the Winds of War. Team DRX get their second.
Really awkward to try to Hex Tech Ultimatum someone there because the turret aggro was juggled so well. It's hard for DuDu to get the punish. Ultimately, doesn't even use it at all there before he dies. So taken out here. And I mentioned that Willer was trying to stay up here and make sure that this Olaf was in a good spot, but actually ends up ganking. So he picks up the turret aggro first, so if he locks down Frog here, Frog could just ignore this. Yeah. And by the time it switched back over to Ucal there, there's just, he's too healthy. DuDu can't really ult anyone to save anything there on that play.
Yeah, the fact that Willa picks it up and he's so far away from the Camille after she'd used all of her mobility options just meant that it was kind of checkmate. Really unfortunate there for DuDu, but very well played by Kiwoom DRX.
Yes, DuDu might have, if he ulted the Lee Sin like instantly as he was going in, might have been able to do something there, but it was always going to be really tricky.
Well, now you've got a grand entrance onto the Milio, as Andil takes a fair bit of damage, but does actually peel quite nicely by hitting deokdam with that fire kick. But well, still DNS, I think, are going to be feeling their way back into this bottom lane, right? Yeah. It is like 730 gold, but that gold lead really has not changed all that much. And I think as long as deokdam can sort of slowly make his way to 3 items, the Xayah will be kind of all right moving into the later stages. The problem is Kiwoom DRX have really started the snowball.
Yeah, it's okay if you can play through your Pantheons global here early. We'll see where Sharvel does decide to make his first move. I don't think we've seen the last of top lane aggression and jungle attention, as both of these ultimates for the top laners as well as that exhaust are up for Frog.
Ooh, deokdam does find a really nice feather pull there. Is aiming, not going to be able to get the culling to hit onto deokdam. And this wave will be shoved in. I don't think he's going to go for a solo dive or anything like that. As Sharvel makes his way over towards these grubs. Frog is going to get down here first. As DuDu wanting to offer something here. Does have X-Tech Ultimatum. See whether he can actually use it effectively. Looks to see whether he can dive in on top of anyone. As Sharvel does come down from the skies. Quickness from Peter comes in, and that is going to help out. But the problem is they're just a bit far behind. Sharvel has to flash to get himself out of there, and Clozer just not able to do quite enough. Takes down the Olaf first, though, and now Willa's in trouble. Command attack does get avoided by Willa, and the flash forward. It's a triple for Clozer on this Orianna.
That's a problem. It looked so good for Kiwoom DRX initially, but this Clozer triple kill just changed the equation. So this fight is so difficult to actually quantify because Willer actually is trying to play a little bit of keep away on the end of the fight, then goes back in onto DuDu, who ults to avoid a lot of that damage, still gets taken out here first. And then Sharvel has to flash away, but Clozer still full health, still layering so much damage. And Peter allows him to get another big ball in here and add all that extra damage. Willard flashes first, so Clozer gets his cooldown back and then flashes on him for the kill as Ucal needs to leave because he's not going to be able to change the tide of that battle. If he stayed, would have lost even more. So now you have a gold lead on an Orianna. It's still a pretty strong game state here for Kiwoom DRX on both ends of the map, but the center, where Clozer is right now with TP, is definitely the strongest point for DNS, the only strong point.
Yeah, and Clozer is a bit of a vibes guy as well. Pretty good, putting the team on his back when he does get advantages like this. We'll see whether they can continue to do that.
He's got the first completed item across the rift here in that torch.
Yeah, so going to be pretty scary. Still probably wants to get to a couple of items before he's really happy, but the Orianna feeling pretty good right now. 10 minutes on the clock, about a 900 gold lead still there for Kiwoom DRX. And they did also get the majority of the grubs as well. So neutral objectives are going to be with them outside of that Drake that DNS were able to pick up. As not even with Dissonance can Clozer actually get out of the way here. Two-man Shockwave, though, is going to connect. Kick is going to interrupt Sharvel. And now Aiming and Andil are making their way up. Clozer will get taken down, but it's a 1-for-1 when KRX invested so much for the play.
Yeah, look at deokdam in the bottom lane. He's actually going to get some free time here. Look at all the vision they have on the left side of the Dragon Pit as well. Just full information to be able to make that attempted counterplay work from Sharvel. As we're trying to the observers are trying to showcase how volatile this matchup is. It's very important, etc. But hasn't been that much attention out of the outside of the original gank there. deokdam getting some free time, like I mentioned, is really huge for him, even though he does have that 1,000 gold deficit right now, and his opponent's Essence Reaver is done much faster.
Yeah, Aiming is pretty frightening on this Lucian right now.
He's hit his big spike. So Clozer doesn't have flash. So instantly they're like, we're going to do something about this. Almost gets out of the taunt. If he gets out of the taunt and they chase further, this actually could have been a disaster for Kiwoom DRX, but they were able to pull off another fairly weird calling placement here from Aiming, but it doesn't matter. He's the one who gets the kill. He's the one that's 1,000 gold behind off of the play, despite what was a really nice turnaround there from Sharvel.
Yeah. So Kiwoom DRX still, going 1-for-1 there, but not going to get punished too much. Aiming collecting more plate money here towards this bottom side. And Flash and Barrier both up and available for Aiming, but Andil is possibly a target as Grand Exit there from Peter gets him out of the way. Quest completed for Aiming. All right. DNS wanted to come on over and fight for this one. Double Tech Dragons are going to be coming in first up.
Yeah, that was a pretty funny little interaction there between Sharvel and Willer. As now they're going to burst down this dragon as quickly as they can with Ucal here to hold the line. They have vision in this brush, so DNS, I don't think they really should go for this. They're going to go for the Pantheon ult, though.
Yeah, the quickness does come in, but doesn't get a whole lot of value. Peter is kicked away as he dashes back towards deokdam. They destroy Clozer before anything can happen, and Willer locks down the dragon. Now deokdam gets fire kicked. He does have his flash available and does get himself out of there with it, but that is Drake secured here by Kiwoom DRX. And they get themselves the kill.
Yeah, I think DNS were optimistic about their chances to go in there and actually accomplish something. The way Ucal is standing there, it's so hard to actually make a play. Now they're even going to get this blue buff, or at least attempt to. Sharvel does have Smite, in fact.
And it's a charged up Q as well, so comfortably able to grab that one for himself.
He still hangs out with Rel, who's always trying to remember the good old jungle days, but Peter's engage is avoided. That's the first thing that goes wrong here. Pantheon goes into the back line onto a target that isn't a prio target. Ucal's on top of Clozer. Like I said, he has prio and he has control over the brush area. They have vision. It's just not, it's not realistic. deokdam's forced to ult and flash, so that's also expensive. I think DNS really feeling the pressure of this game state and feeling like they can hands their way through this. But, you know, the thing about Sharvel's Pantheon for me is I think it's one of his worst picks, weirdly enough, because it's not a hands champion.
Yeah, true.
It's kind of a, you have to be at the right time in the right place, you have to understand your power levels and when you could fight, and you have to have the right target selection. Not to say that Sharvel doesn't know all of those things, but I feel like he's much better at a pick like Lee Sin. Or
like it's underutilization of his skills.
Yeah, exactly. Like he can't necessarily change the tide of that fight with Pantheon. Although I don't know if he could have changed it with anything with the position that Kiwoom DRX had there, but he tried to get on top of Willer. The smite was close, 20 health on it before it did ultimately go down.
Yeah, it was a bit of an early smite for Sharvel, unfortunately. Was then secured by Kiwoom DRX. As Clozer moving towards the top side of the map, he needs to watch out for his positioning. I think that is going to be the big one. He's got a secondary burn earn. So Wolf, he is going for the Leandri's double burn build, which is kind of cute, kind of like it.
Yeah, he's just trying to heat the Olaf up.
Yeah, and it'll mean that he will do a lot of consistent damage in fights. Just command attacking around a whole bunch and getting those health bars to tick down. It's good into the Olaf and the Galio especially, but getting the burst for aiming, that's where they're going to have to really knuckle down and figure it out, as DuDu might have to be the one tasked with that, put him in the Hextech ultimatum, make that one happen.
It's just really hard for Sharvel to play the game right now because they have no prio on the map. And he's even potentially, okay, well, I don't know if that's what Willer meant to do by that, but I was going to say potentially having his red buff stolen away. However, he is going to keep it. Willer just being relentless because they have so much prio with this Lucian right now, and they have a Galio who can ult in.
Ooh, Sharvel spotted there by the Scryer's Bloom.
It's hard for Sharvel to ult anywhere because they don't have any pressure to follow up on, and because there's so much control for Kiwoom DRX, it's not like they can punish a pushing lane either. The bottom lane's an Olaf, so if he was just going to say, you can have the Herald, we'll play through Olaf, Olaf's just going to walk away and not care. So this Pantheon really not going to do a whole lot right now, unfortunately, even with the Sundered Sky Spike online.
Yeah, the Eclipse is there for Willer as well. He's got a Tunneler on top of it. Flicker Blade's now done for aiming, and they're just kind of leaving DNS in the dust when it comes to these item spikes. Makes it so hard for DNS to find a comeback fight just with the added stats that are there in the Kiwoom DRX right now.
It's really Sharvel who needs a fidget spinner in this game right now because he just doesn't have anything he can do. It's just kind of farming as best as he can, and okay.
Oh wow, okay. DuDu is flashing in. Sharvel's like, nope, no fidget spinner for me. I just want to take down this Galio. Ucal is running, but the stuns are coming down. Justice Punch comes in, and he knows he's dead. That's why he's pressing some buttons.
He almost was able to get to that wall. At the cost of this mid turret, they will get the kill there onto the Galio, as this is going to be a charge for this Rift Herald.
Yeah, Shelly will be able to finish this one off.
And on the top side, I mean, DuDu is going to be able to get some plate gold, get some alone time up there, so a lot of money picked up outside of that kill.
Yeah, Sharvel going to be able to avoid the Sonic Wave. As now Frog's teleported in. Possible angle here. Kick Flash comes down. Andil was the one that he was kicking him over to, but I still think this is going to be enough. Undertow from Frog. And Willer is the one that secures it with that resonating strike.
That's painful. You know, they got a small win. Just a small one, but it came at the loss of so much more.
Oh, wow. That hit anyway.
Yeah, that was kind of bizarre, actually. Clozer is... he wanted to set up a play here. Maybe they can actually still do it.
All right, Shockwave comes in, and there is the charm out from Peter. Gonna get that knock up as well. Ucal is pretty tanky and gets himself out with the heroic exit.
And now can DNS get out? I think so.
The flanking Andil.
Flanking fire kick with aiming coming over? Maybe.
Actually could be kind of cool as, okay, Ragnarok gonna get thrown down here by Frog. DuDu's exhausted. And yeah, I'd be exhausted too if I had to deal with that kind of Viking play in the top lane. As aiming just going to annoy Peter momentarily.
All right, well, that's significant because it's going to delay his back of this, and with the siege here and the crystalline overgrowth, aiming might just be able to get the second turret of the game here, as top turret also about to go down because of that kill onto DuDu, and Kiwoom DRX is just running away with this game.
Yeah, this snowball is rolling real quick. We're learning about momentum and like inertia and stuff.
Yeah.
There's a lot of gravitational potential energy for Kiwoom DRX right now. I didn't realize that they were the ones starting at the top of a hill.
Well, I think
they were made out of snow.
Definitely did his studying on the Camille ult cooldown, because he was able to ult DuDu here about 10 seconds before the ultimate for the Camille's going to go. So he knows he's not going to be outplayed here under turret. He knows the timing.
Yep.
And just smashes him before that ultimatum is up. Now it's up, but completely useless. So he doesn't get the whole turret, but gets most of it. And they stay with a 2,000 gold lead advantage here at 18.5 minutes. Clozer might just be dead.
Yeah, aiming is just going to chase after him. There's the culling. Dissonance might be able to help him get out, but nope, there's another relentless pursuit, and it is indeed relentless here today.
Doesn't even need to flash for the kill, and there's a trap set. Let's see if he walks into this.
All right, they do flash away, as Peter was looking for that quickness angle and isn't going to find it. That's now on cooldown. As Willer, he's here again! And now DuDu is trying to escape. Hextech sweep gonna do nothing. And my God, it's just so fast, this snowball now, Wolf.
They're winning on both sides of the map. It's not supposed to happen this way. Only Clozer in the middle. He's the one who's on alive, but then he's actually gonna get picked here on the top side play. And he's using this culling to try to kill him without flash, and it takes so long for Clozer. He just gets another dash and takes him down. And then DuDu's like, uh-oh, I see the jungler's not on the top. Oh.
Yeah. Will also holding the resonating strike until after the wall dive. Very nicely done. And so now, as we take stock of the game, we're cresting the 20-minute mark, and we're looking at a 4,000 gold lead. 3 turrets to nothing on the side of the DN Soopers. One more Drake, and that soul point will be there for Kiwoom DRX as well. This game has taken a turn for the impossible.
Yeah, it's pretty cooked. Esports fans.
Yeah, you can tell when Wolf calls you esports fans, that's when you know things are looking real dire for a team here in the LCK. As Hextech Ultimatum is going to come down, and DuDu is just going to get booted into the wall and dies.
What did DuDu say to Willer, man? I don't think Willer liked it very much, whatever it was.
What was the year they went to Worlds together? Was that 2021? Maybe it was like, I didn't actually like you in 2021 that much.
That was the Hanwha Life Chovy year where I had a decent series against T1 at quarterfinals.
Yeah, that was not a bad run through the gauntlet that they made.
Well, let's see if DNS can have this one miracle steal. That one crazy chance. Sharvel has flash.
He does shockwave on everyone. Peter gets in there. The DN Soopers. They're going to wipe them off the rift. And you are never snowballing enough against this team.
They've been snowball down. They've been the opposite of a snowball. They were like the nothing that was at the top of the hill, and then they started rolling down. They're still rolling. They're like, have you seen that Disney movie, that sports one? It's on Disney Plus. It's a story about this brotherhood with these 5 players. You know what I'm talking about?
No.
Old
Mighty
Disney.
Ducks?
No. It's Kespa Cup 26.
Oh, that's the one.
Yeah, it's a sick movie. I saw it the other day.
All right.
I did some commentary on it.
Okay. I heard about this. It was a really unlikely story.
Yeah,
I think a lot of people thought that it wasn't very believable.
No, I think not enough people have seen it, actually. It's pretty underrated.
Okay.
But look at this. Ult from Clozer into Charm, Knockup, and the Feather Pull. It's like the womboest of wombo combos.
And it's normally illegal for that to start with the shockwave.
Yeah.
Like, Wolf and Faker taught us, and Huni, taught us that you're supposed to start it with the quickness.
Yes.
You know, you really need to get the Rakan in there.
Career
to lock them
showcasing
up.
this the other day.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that one was not it for Kiwoom DRX. They don't have a lead anymore.
No, the DN Soopers are back in control of the game.
You know,
somehow.
That wasn't Falco, but it was one of the biggest wombo combos we've seen in a very long time. Something happy feet.
Yeah.
But
Dual barrel roll.
yeah. Is the game just like completely?
Is it over again?
Yeah, no, I mean, is it? Like maybe because they're getting inner turrets.
I mean,
Camille is side laning, sort of, in the mid lane, despite being 1 in 5. That's a good thing for Camille when she's not interacting with other ones when she's behind like that.
I mean, aiming does hit 3rd item first, but I mean, deokdam is so close. All right, here we go. The flanking Galio is now Peter. Going to be able to battle dance his way out, and oh dear, this Olaf is taking too much damage. DuDu makes his way in. Frog is going to get at least helped out by the Galio, but another shockwave as DuDu's the one that delivers the orb this time. And the DN Soopers, they've decided to stop toying with them, and they will now destroy Kiwoom DRX.
Okay, so it's one of the fastest games of the tournament. No, they can't end, right?
Okay,
20 seconds on aiming. Andil, you can buy some time.
Well, this is a 9,000 gold swing.
Willer is he's gonna kill that minion for sure. Get that little guy.
Look at the little guy.
Oh, look
at the little guy.
Got him. Turret got him. But they still have minions actually.
Yeah, okay, that's one Nexus turret down, and the inhibitor is dead on the bottom side. The DN Soopers are now so far ahead.
Speaking of Disney, man, this is if like They trapped Free Willy, and at the end of Free Willy, they just trapped the Orca. What a captivity!
Oh no!
We finally freed Willy, but in his last series here, it looks like at the end of it, he's not going to be able to make the big play to turn this one around. Frog tries to go in super early here to buy space for aiming, but aiming just really can't do anything in the interim. Ucal is defensively ulting here, and it's another shockwave right onto aiming space, and down he'll go. Ucal is just a Galio against the world, which never goes well. He kind of sets up the teammates generally.
This seriously, like, it feels like it's like a Chuck Norris movie, you know, where he's like, the last fight is him just kind of like watching his opponent try to hit him, and then Chuck Norris at the end is like, now you die, and then like fly kicks them. I don't know whether this ever happens in Chuck Norris movies, but it's what it sort of feels like to me.
Are you familiar with One Punch Man?
Yeah.
Maybe it's just one Shockwave Man. That's who Clozer is. Like, everything is on fire. The city is burning. Okay, everything is doomed.
The problem with that, Wolf, is I've seen 2 really good Shockwaves so far this game.
Okay, well, sure. But the first one was like the one. The second one was just like
that was the
season 2, which isn't as good as season 1.
Yeah, it was.
Well, like, Clozer's based just at the market trying to figure out how much his groceries cost, and then there's an apocalypse, and he's like, oh, okay, I'll set up Peter and deokdam. And now DNS have a 5,000 gold lead and an inhibitor down on the bottom side of the map with Baron coming up in 2 minutes.
And they have Xayah, Orianna, Camille. Like, these are champions that are pretty good when it comes to the late game.
And
I don't know why I had to say that in a drunk voice. I just felt like it was more appropriate.
Well, it's appropriate with how the discussion went earlier. But look, Deathcap's done for Clozer. He's going to TP in. And they're a bit early to get Baron Pride, but they got a lot of it right now. They're going to now turn this into a push towards this top.
How do they have a gold lead everywhere, Wolf?
One Shockwave Man.
Ah, got it. Sorry.
1.6 Shockwave Man. You know.
I forgot which show we were watching. You know how sometimes you just have to like tap the screen. You're like, hang on, wait, what am I watching?
How does that anime character that's bald and has silly face like just kill the super bad guy in one punch? Oh, yeah, we're watching One Punch Man. Okay, yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
Also, why is there a crab man that pops balls? First
Wait, are you watching SpongeBob now? Oh, okay, never mind. That's still One Punch Man.
Yeah.
I really need to do my pop culture research. I feel like Valdez right now. That's all right. Sharvel going to be setting up for this Siege of the Inner Turret. Baron up in 1 minute. And there is 3 minutes on Soul Point for both teams. I don't think anyone cares about
DuDu's
Ocean Dragon at all.
Dancing with the minions there, see that?
That was pretty cute.
DuDu's clicking real fast.
It looked like he was playing WASD.
They're just pushing until Baron's up. They're doing the alt-tab game thing I was talking about.
I mean, look at this vision, man. Like, there's no way for Kiwoom DRX to get anywhere near this area. There is one flank ward that you can see in lane, but that gets replaced.
And it's timing out soon as well. So, I mean, look, they're going to have an Orianna orb in a choke point, and they're going to say, come at me, Kiwoom DRX.
And Clozer is going to become a 3-punch man.
Yeah.
Or a 3-orb man.
Let's see how good the animation is on this one.
Yeah. Maybe they've upgraded it for Season 3.
Maybe he's got some sidekicks again.
Ah.
Andil got cooldown boots.
Okay. Is that a power spike?
That's the only thing I could say that's a positive right now, except they got part of their jungle.
Aiming cleared out the minion wave.
Yeah.
And he is backing on a ward without being punished for it. There you go.
Look at DNS. Something. They have choke point control. They're showing a jungler here. There's no vision for Kiwoom DRX, and all the players moving over towards that Baron pit. Going to clear that wave here real quick. Sharvel is just being annoying, but I think they should probably do the Baron.
He's shoveling. Not going to quite find that Q, though.
They're going to push the bottom wave with DuDu, who has TP, to set up a bit of a cross. So if they just slow play the Baron, eventually the Camille will end the game. And if they deal with the Camille, then they'll lose the Baron.
Yeah, there's only one Nexus turret. So DuDu will not take very long to win this one if they do fail to stop him. And now, as soon as they see the Olaf, DNS just go over to the Baron.
And they're going to rush over here to try to answer him. And they have a Camille, sorry, not a Camille, a Milio for engage. And maybe Galio can close the gap. He has flash.
Yeah, DuDu is going to get over here first, though. Teleports in. And wall dive does come on through. Good fire kick there onto Sharvel to deny. As now Ucal goes golden. Still, they're just going to try and turn on whichever target shows themselves. As the Ragnarok is going to wear off, and this Olaf is way less dangerous. DuDu not going to find the wall dive onto Willa, who safeguards away. No one going to die, but there are a whole lot of buttons pressed.
That was very messy by DN SOOPers. They kind of messed it up the way they wanted to turn off of that one, and now actually suddenly Kiwoom DRX have prio. Zonya's on Ucal, and he's TPing in.
Oh dear, aiming. I don't know whether he's allowed to do that. Is he allowed to do that?
I don't think he's allowed to do that.
Okay.
He doesn't have IE
There's
yet.
no cleanse. There's no Mikhails. He needs to be careful.
Yeah, I don't like how he's doing that. They're just gonna instead push mid and be like, you know what, Baron, that's a little bit too tough. Let's do the dragon. That seems like a realistic objective to take right now, as DuDu does see the rotation and wants to group up with his team to try to look for a bit of a sandwich here. They haven't been able to stop this Camille from looking for the flank.
Yeah.
He is going to concede it for now, and they're just going to say, you can have dragon, we'll do Baron, maybe. The macro is getting a little bit murky in this game.
No,
to be honest with both
macro.
teams.
This is KRM. This is KRM.
It's macro.
This is where Faker's Shockwave found them all, and this might be where Clozer's Shockwave is going to find some of them.
Or
Not
all of
anymore.
them.
Yeah, or all of them.
Or like one of them. It's probably okay.
Or it already found them, and he's the one Shockwave man, and that's all he needs.
All right, they're going to rush in here. Peter locking the door here on Willer so he can't get access to the spit.
DuDu's flank angle. Gets the flash, dives on top of aiming. There's the Shockwave, they blow up the Lucian. It's immediately in trade for this Camille though, as Peter is dashing around the fight. It's a double for deokdam, he flashes away, but now it's another Olaf angle. Sharvel gets on top of him though, and Clozer, he is the big carry here for the DN SOOPers. And it's only Andil and Ucal left alive to face off against Sharvel and Clozer.
So it looks like it's just going to be Dragon that gets taken here, as deokdam will pick up his Infinity Edge from the Death Chamber.
That felt like it was more meaningful than it actually was.
Watch this engage from the Camille. The angle here is crazy. Hook shot into flash, set up the Shockwave. Now he dies in turn instantly, and I really feel like if the Olaf was ulting earlier and actually really was more confident about the play here, I think this could have been way
Didn't
better.
really just come up though, because remember, he used the Ragnarok in the last fight.
You might have been right about that, actually. I wasn't tracking the cooldown on that one.
It doesn't have a very long cooldown, so it might have been that it was just up anyway. And look, he's like about to respawn, and it's already available.
I think he had it, but I think if he uses it a little bit earlier, maybe they get a little bit more out of that, because you could see how much impact he had at the end of that fight there. But ultimately, again, maybe his thought process also is, I want to use it so that Camille has to focus on me in the fight, and then it just all happens so fast, right? You know, suddenly DuDu flies out of the wall and gets on top of aiming, and aiming doesn't have any counterplay there. You know, the flash is useless. That's why he still has it, because it wouldn't have saved him.
That's a good point. Now, DuDu is pushing through that top side.
He also now has IE, but the Baron is being taken, and this time they just can't even get that last contest. I mean, they had one miracle play to get back in for it, but now it just seems like a pipe dream to even get close enough to Willer to like have...
Yeah, this isn't fair, because they took the Dragon and the Baron, and they went even in the fight. But ultimately, it just doesn't mean anything. 7,000 gold is going to be the lead here for the DN SOOPers, and they've got 3 minutes to make this Rebel Baron power play work for them. Inhibitor has respawned on the bottom side, and there is a huge wave that has built up down there. So I could imagine that DuDu is going to head over, see whether he can take that down. Teleport is in hand. There is going to be a big engage.
For now.
There's 2 plates now remaining. This inner turret is just going to die. All right, Willer looks for the big play as he delivers the Galio, but deokdam just goes into the sky. Willer is going to go down to the GA. And Ucal immediately calls off this fight.
Didn't even ult yet. He's here now.
Yeah. I like the idea. But now the Grand Starfall comes in. They all pile in on top. And Sharvel, I think, still has the GA. So actually, he's just kind of fine. But he still holds on to that cooldown. As aiming, just barely able to survive. As Peter will hit the dust.
I mean, this was a pretty decent exchange on the defense here for Kiwoom DRX. Also wastes some of the Baron time, but ultimately, still a Camille pushing that has ultimate here, and she is just going to make such quick work of these turrets. And the bottom lane, yes, the wave is still there, but once this one goes down, it's just really easy for DNS to regroup and push all 3. As Willer's trying to be one kick man with the Galio, as you guys can see here, but deokdam just puts a stop to it because he presses his R button and ruins the whole combo, then pulls the feathers back onto Ucal so he can't get the taunt range, and the Lee Sin is focused down. So deokdam basically just said, nah, I've seen that one before. And he just denies everything they were trying to do with one fell swoop. Unfortunately, though, they're not able to set up a good Camille ultimate here when this re-engage comes through. Sharvel almost loses his GA. And they cannot get either of those inhibitor turrets down. The mid turret went down to 1 plate. And now this bottom wave is once again being pushed out from Frog. I do think that DNS are in a very commanding position in this game and will likely close it out fairly soon, but there's still a chance here for Kiwoom DRX. Suddenly, you know, they're all inhibitors are back up as DuDu is going to get pushed away by this Lucian.
Yeah, DuDu doesn't have his GA completed just yet. You can see that BF sword wants to be that item, but he doesn't quite have the money to complete his 4th. And DNS, I mean, they still have 40 seconds on this Baron buff, and quite a few members with it up and available. Only Peter is missing it as he died in the last fight. So the siege will continue. Crystalline Overgrowth is still there on this top lane inhibitor turret. Kind of crazy that they haven't been able to get to it, but the low range of the Xayah makes it quite hard for them to walk up.
It's just going to get like 2-tapped here.
Okay, yeah, never mind, it's gone. So got a little bit of space. Willer doesn't find a Sonic Wave. I mean, they're still looking for it.
Yeah, he keeps trying to find it, but that last attempt that deokdam ulted was, I think, his best chance, and he's not going to have another one here. He's going to have to look to defend with maybe an insect in the base if he's going to get even that.
And now there are no inhibitor turrets remaining. The inhibitors should all go down, and now it's, you know, it's a PvE game that's just a little bit too hard, and the other players are just allowed in to bully you at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, they're looking for that bottom inhibitor now, and that'll be all 3 gone. I mean, the Nexus turret respawn, but as we all know, those don't really respawn very healthy. So they can back away now and get Ocean Soul. And I guess maybe a Baron will decide this game, as Kiwoom DRX won't be leaving their base for a long time, at least not safely. They have to do a very good job of clearing wards as well, as if any ward survives, like that one that's in the base right now when DuDu gets his teleport back up, if they're out on the map trying to contest Baron or do anything, then Camille just TPs and ends the game.
Yep.
As long as there's a wave there, which, by the way, with 3 double-pushing super minion waves, that's probably going to be the case. There'll probably be some minions in there. That's kind of the whole thing.
They also don't really need that ward because you can just...
Yeah, I guess you're right about that. I'm getting flashbacks to some craziness we saw in Kespa Cup. It isn't actually relevant here.
Yeah, I think it should be all right. As now DNS with a soul now available. No defense up for Kiwoom DRX. And DNS, I mean, the turnaround in this game has just been so crazy. And they have taken a while to close this one out. But since picking up the advantage, they just haven't really allowed Kiwoom DRX to have any way back in. Playing out like, slow and measured.
Kind of like One Punch Man. They gave away the whole gimmick on the first episode.
Yeah.
The whole season still played out even though you knew he was just going to punch that guy in the end.
Yeah. And I guess Clozer is probably going to orb them in the end.
Yeah, I think he probably will. Oh, this one's a little bit...
And they will all just like move positions a bit and take a whole lot of damage.
Look at how much push there already is in this base now with DuDu level 20.
Oh god, yeah. This Camille, we haven't really seen Camille's this large for quite some time. That buffer was gorgeous.
Clean.
And he flashes, he's going to turn it on top of aiming. DuDu is still going to get taken down now. deokdam with that Feather Storm gets those feathers in a row. And Sharvel is looking immortal here in this game. Aiming is going to survive, but they take down the Olaf. And deokdam now has no counter in this moment. Clozer's dashing forward. And DNS just drop their wallets on them like a piano from the 2nd floor, and the Nexus will go down. An incredible comeback and a clean, controlled late game as the DN SOOPers go up 1-0.
The comeback squad gets another one. DN SOOPers, doesn't matter how far behind they are, how little map control they have.